have discussed about the workflows, right? Flows I have discussed it. Am I right?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Right. So here is our project called e-commerce portal management application, where you can see here whatever the connectivities we have done yesterday. You can see, right? So these are the updations you can see. Yesterday you don't see all this, right? So these are the CRM connectivities we have, right? So whatever we have connected and on which date we have connected at what time. So those CRM connectivities and all everything you can see here. At the same time, if there is any kind of categories to be mentioned here, whatever the categories we have in reference to the application itself is concerned, those categories can be updated. So here there are my contacts which was already created. Few contacts were created in reference to the connections of the application itself is concerned. At the same time, next we need to see categories, right? So categories here you can see, here you can click on that. You have an option called new, right? Here we need to mention the category, right? So categories has to be mentioned here. Category, for example, uh, shopping cart, right? So shopping cart is a category.
Hmm.
Here, whatever the items we have selected, whatever the items we have selected, can put in the shopping cart. From there, final bill will be prepared accordingly. Okay, right? That's what generally this description was. Now, in respect to the display order and parent category, right? So, if you want, you can create a category here, new category, right? So, save and continue, right? So, go back, right? So, here is a category, right? So, you can see shopping cart is the title we have created, and in reference to the title, whatever the description and all everything was mentioned here. This is what something related in reference to the shopping cart itself is concerned. Now we were going to in our e-commerce application. You can see here there was a category called shopping cart was created. At the same time, there was a shortcut for shopping cart was created as well. Now, if you want to add some new categories to the existing list, we can add something. So let us add few more categories to that. So one is shopping cart we have added. So what else can be added? Can you tell me one more category apart from shopping cart? What else is the category do I require to add into this?
Payments.
Uh, payments. Okay.
Like
Payments.
pay
Payments. Payment.
paying for items.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? Payment against to the items a customer has taken. These mode of payments may be in different forms. Okay. Mode of payments is in the different forms. Save and continue. right? So this is one more category which was created here, right? So two categories created. Can you tell me one more category? Payment, shopping cart, uh,
Out
returns, cancellations,
cancellations.
right? So cancellations. Whatever the product selected and finalized can be whatever the product selected and finalized can be uh, cancelled upon the decision taken by the customer. Right? So this is it. Right. So these are the categories we have created for these. Right. So these are the three different categories we have created.
So
Where to whom are we going?
create these categories? What is the purpose? Like,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. See, these categories we are creating because we have to provide an opportunity to the team members to work on that, right? To whom are we going to assign is important, right? To whom we are going to provide this work to make it them to complete, right? That's what we have to do. For
mm,
example, if you see cancellations, right? So cancellation is a option you are going to develop. Assume that it's a requirement.
hmm
Now, for what reason these categories we have created is your question, right? You are
hmm
asking that question, right? For example, if you see cancellation as a requirement as a category, here what you can do first of all, you have to identify someone who has to do this particular functionality or the particular category who is going to handle this category has to be identified here. So for that reason, these categories and all everything were created because these are the categories which are part of the project, right? So this is not something given to the project because whether cancellations in reference to the products which were selected by the customer or the kind of payments what customer wants to pay, irrespective of the mode it could be. At the same time, whatever the shopping carts are they going to select, right? Whatever the shopping carts they are going to do, right? Whatever the shopping carts they are trying to enhance all that stuff, everything can be categorized here. So in regard to that, what is that we can do? There is an option called assign where we have to assign this to the particular teams. So for that reason, generally this assign is an option which we are going to see here. Now here you can see this is a cancellation is an category I have taken where I am selecting an option called assign. Okay, assign. Now, to whom are you going to assign is what it is, right? So, are you going to assign to a user or a team, right? So, for example, user or a team is what it is, right? Now, for example, if it's a new record, right? User. Now, yeah, right. So over here you need to create a team first, right? So, for example, this is the category we are giving this to the team, for example, right? So for example, you need to give the team name called quick response, right? So quick response is a team name. I've just given some name, right? So quick response is a team name I have created. Now if I want to select any kind of business unit, for example, any business unit, if I want to select, I can select the business unit. Otherwise we can create new business unit because we haven't done anything so far, so that business unit has to be created. right? So we have to select the business unit here, because unless until if it is not there in the repository, it is not possible for us to do it, right? So we have to look for a business unit, and we need to create a business unit here, because this is mandatory. Whatever the fields I am creating now, these are the mandatory fields which we need to do. For example, mm, this is something which we have to create with. For example, right? So this is what we are create to. At the same time, owner access. Need to discard the changes here, right? So here the business unit name is I'm writing here. Quick response is what I'm creating, right? So division is not mandatory. Parent business, uh, retail, for example. Right? So, for example, if there is any record and all everything, there will be an option called retail where you can select it. Assume that if you have a business unit, I'm talking about. If you don't have a business unit, you will get this message. Why? Because we need to create this business unit for sure. Unless until if you are not creating any kind of business unit, all that stuff, this is not something possible for us to understand.
And what would the
Are you
business
following? No?
what would the business unit normally be like? What would that be in this
Sorry, I
situation?
didn't understand.
In this situation, what would a business unit be?
I'm not getting your question. Business unit means whatever the business we are going to create. Business unit means there are different units in the. For example, if you take retail as a retail organization, retail e-commerce application is the one which we are creating. Units can be anything, right? So it can be something like supply chain management, right? For example, supply chain management is one kind of business unit.
Okay.
Understood? Clear? Right?
Yeah.
Supply chain management. So supply chain what supply chain management do? Supply chain management is the one which is essentially useful for us when when we want to order any kind of goods for the application, isn't it? Right or not? Right?
Yes, that's right.
Right or not? So what is that we have to do now? We have to create units for the particular project, because remember one thing here, this is a CRM application, right? So customer relationship management. So where customer relationship management will be existed, customer relationship management is existed everywhere. This is not something confined only for a particular. I don't say that it is only confined only for a particular department or something, right? So this can be used even in marketing. This can be used in sales. This can be used in supply chain management. This can be used in other purchases. Everywhere, this customer relationship management can be used for. Understood? Clear? So, okay,
Understood.
right?
Understood.
So, what is that we have to do is that whatever the cancellations and all everything, that we need to make sure to whom are you going to assign this for sure. At the same time, here there is an option called share, where if you want to share these records to the team, all that stuff, wherein we can share this to the team, right? So whoever the team and all everything we have, so we can add those teams and all everything into this. So for that reason, generally these categories can be created. So categories can be of anything, either it can be cancellations, either it could be payments, either it could be shopping cart. As of now, what we have created is these three. So if depends on the kind of project complexity what we have taken so far, these categories can be added and these categories can be included to an extent possible. So that is what usually being a being a team one should be very clear with. Understand? Clear?
Yep, understood.
Right. So this is what generally the categories and all everything are being used for. So my active contacts were there. At the same time, active CRM connections were created. Even flows and all everything were created even earlier. At the same time, whatever the categories do we require and whatever the categories do we have, those categories were also created here. Now you can see whatever the data analysis reports you have, analytic reports and all everything. If there is any kind of reports to be seen, here this is how generally this reports can be seen, right? So here there is an option called visualize this view, where you can see, like for example, if you are connecting to Power BI, assume that of course we haven't connected to Power BI. We haven't connected to Power BI because earlier yesterday I've told you, right?
Mhm.
So if you want to visualize, because even in either it's a CRM application, even though data visualization is required, right? So for a team to perform or for a team to understand whatever they have done so far, whatever they wants to, whatever the data they have taken, to what extent this data is being used and all everything, people should know it. For that reason, there are some records which has to be visualized for sure. For that visualization purpose and all everything, this visualization tools are used. So these visualization tools prominently of two different things. One is Power BI and second is Tableau. So why it is showing Power BI? Because this is all something comes with Microsoft Corporation. Because this Dynamics and all everything comes under Microsoft. Hence Power BI is an option where they are using for data visualization purpose. Whatever the data they have created so far, if they want to visualize, they have an option where they can use Power BI and all everything here, right? So for that reason, this Power BI and all everything are used here accordingly. Now this is all about the data analytic reports which are associated for the project. What is that we have created so far? Now here you can see there is an option called sales reports, right? So available reports, whatever the available reports in reference to the sales what we have done, right? Either for example, either it could be an account distribution or else account distribution, whatever the accounts do we have and all everything. At the same time, if you want to see an account overview here, or else if you want to know about the summary of the account or the kind of activities what is that we are performing in reference to the application what we are developing, or else for example there is some campaign is going on. So for what reason this campaign is, because especially in the field of sales and marketing, you know how campaigning and how promotion is so important, right? So you know that. So
Yes.
even applications, even though it's in online applications, campaigning could be digital campaigning, because now and then everything is digitality, right? So digital campaigning is what running on. So that campaigning activity status and all everything should be known here well in advance. At the same time, not only campaigning activity statuses and all, so comparison of campaign comparisons and all everything has to be made, because when we are going to develop a product which is something useful to the customers when we are creating, we should always make sure that whatever that we are going to create should be capable enough to compare in a processed way. That is how essentially important when we are working for campaign performances, everything of that sort. So for that reason, generally these campaign performances and all everything are being used here. At the same time, campaign performances, next, if you want to write down the case summary tables of the particular application, what is that you are going to develop. So those informations can also be updated here. So this is all something where you can see different reports. If you want to see the available reports, you can see, or else if you want to see some administrative reports can also be seen here, or else if you want to see any kind of marketing reports for the existing application. So there are different variants, like even sales reports, everything can be seen. Now in reference to the reports whatever that we are using here, you can see there is an option called new, right? So there is an option called new here, where if you want to create a new report and all, here there is an option called new, where you can click and you can create a new report as own, right? So now I'll just clicked on new. Let me open it. Yeah. So new report, which is, yeah. So this is about new report status of general administration, followed by administration and all. Everything was created. So general report type, for example, existing file. If you want to choose an existing file, here you have an option where you can select that. Or else report existing result and all that. Name of the report, for example, rule 1, right? For example, right? So rule 1. I'm not writing anything. Simply just description. I'm writing something, something. Okay. I'm
What what
writing
what
something.
what would be the reason for doing the new reports every time? What's that the new report for?
Means whatever the reports you can see. For example, I'll show you. For example, let me show you. Yeah. See why do we create new reports? Because here you can see whatever the reports you are seeing. These reports are only limited. So you
Yeah.
can see only available reports you have. At the same time, people whoever is something relating to sales and marketing and all those sort of reports are also only you can see here. At the same time, service level reports can be seen. But when we are using the CRM application, depends on the client whoever is using this application for their application development. These are not only the reports they require, right? So they may be
Mm.
require some other reports which are add-on to the existing ones. Do
Okay.
you agree? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right. So they may be required some other new reports which might be needed for their application to perform and to develop it. So they may be having few more reports which has to be added into the existing this thing, right? So that may be required here, right? So it will not be the same as the reports what we have. Apart from this, you may be required some other new reports which should be added into the existing format, right? So for that reason, generally this report generation, new report generations and all everything are used for that purpose. Is it clear to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's clear. That's clear.
Right. At the same time, here you can see this is an active accounts. Whatever the active accounts do we have and all everything. These active accounts and all everything we can see. Here, if you want to view the records and all everything, here you can view the records. You can see here. This is for an active account. Whatever account we have. For this my active accounts as a default page, whatever the account name we have, followed by the details. At the same time, whoever is the primary contact, all these informations can be seen here accordingly. These are the active accounts which were created, right? So these are the active accounts which were created here. Which you want to visualize this is there is an option where if you want to visualize the records of the particular graph what we are showing here can also seen, right? That facility is also there here, right? So this is all about something like active accounts apart from the sales reports whatever we have created. Because the major difference what is that you need to see these reports are the one which is essentially important and will create an idea about what are the different reports in reference to the sales do we have all that stuff. But when it comes to active reports and active accounts and all, active accounts are something different, because whatever the activities are we going to perform and how are these activities we are performing, and what are the different accounts do we have and how many people were added into the existing repository. All these things can be seen under the active accounts. So for that reason, generally these accounts and all everything are used for that purpose.
Okay.
Is it clear? Okay.
Yeah, that's clear.
Right. So next after that, the next is here these are the users, right? So if you want to use any kind of users, all that stuff, so you can add those users, or if you want to search any users and all everything, users can be seen here. So here there is a user called Xilinive because I am only the why my name was mentioned because I am the person who will be the administrator for the application, because I am the one who has created this application. So my name will be created as a user here, because whoever is using an application will be the users. These users can be multiple sometimes, right? So may not be the say one person all the time for the application to be used with. You may be required multiple people to be use this application. Sometimes it happens. It is not for every project. Sometimes you may be require multiple people to use and access this application. For that reason, you need to add the users and all, and we need to provide permissions. So for that, this is all something relating to the administrative activities of the project. Because when there is an application we are creating in reference to the CRM, there is an administrative activities where we have to provide some authentications, authorizations, permissions, and all everything should be given well in advance. Because there are different people. Some people are users. Users means they are eligible and they are confined only to use the application. Some people are admin people. Admin people means these people have a right to edit the document or the data. At the same time, some people are viewers. Viewers means they can see the application, but they can't use it, right? So users are different, administrators are different, viewers are different. Users are the people who are using this application. Administrators are the people whoever is having an authority to edit the data, all that stuff. Wherein viewers are the people who can view the application. That's it. They don't do anything else apart, right? So they don't have any other authority apart from that. So that is how generally this categorizations and all everything is what we want to make when you are going to develop this application here. Do you understand this? Clear?
Yeah. Yep. Clear.
Right. Then followed by this, these are the activities. So these activities which you can refresh it all the time, because if you are refreshing it, if there is any kind of changes to be made to the existing activities of the graphs what we have prepared, so all that information can be seen here accordingly. That is completely depends on the application to the application. All these things will be varied, depends on yeah, depends on different factors and all everything will be used here. So
Yeah.
that is one thing which we have to see in reference to the application what we are using here. So this is all something related and as well as relevant to the dashboard. Now sometimes there is a provision where we want to share this dashboard, right? For example, right? If you want to
Mhm.
share this dashboard and all everything, here you can share this dashboard, but make sure there must be some permission should be given by the administrator. Otherwise, there is no authorization. We have to share this dashboard to the other people
Mm.
because, as I already mentioned, we assume that we are the users who are authorized to use the application, not to repair anything. If you want to do any kind of repairs to the existing application, where there is people who requires to do all that, so for that you need to share the dashboard and they have to do that. The remaining things and all everything accordingly has to be done by those people, respective people accordingly. So that's what generally this sharing of dashboards and all everything are being used for that context.